Hey everybody, Artsy Dude here. Welcome again to the Artsy Dude channel, and welcome to the art studio somewhere here in America. It's the place where creativity is more important than knowledge, but the acquisition of great knowledge, it's an art form, and the two of them go hand in hand. Hey, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about President Donald Trump's creation of the new Armed Services Division called the Space Force. He signed a treaty yesterday, I shouldn't say a treaty, an initiative to create a new branch of the armed services called the Space Force. It stands to reason that if we control the skies over our lands, we control those lands. If we control the space over our skies, we control the skies and land. So I get that. A sound military tactic, if you will. However, he also created a task force to clean up and coordinate all of the space traffic, if you will, the space traffic around our globe. There's so much junk and space traffic out there with satellites and all kinds of other devices that are orbiting the Earth. So he's created a task force to clean all of that up and to coordinate all of that so that as we move into space in the next few years, as all of these companies like United Launch Alliance, SpaceX, and others start to go up into space, it's safe for people and products and cargo and things of that sort. I get that. That makes sense. The Space Force he talks about is a little more, gray area. He calls it a force, a space force to protect our skies. Well, my thoughts are if we're being visited by multiple alien civilizations already, and they're way, way more advanced, let's say the least of them is 10,000 years more advanced than we are, then are they going to, and let's assume that most of them are benevolent, are they going to let us come up there and move out slowly into the ripples around our Earth, the area around our Earth with a force, a space force, if they're benevolent and they're all about love and life and working together? I mean, when will we ever be done with this idea of force and war and killing and protection? I understand that there are fanatical religious governments around the world that want to see other countries wiped off the face of the earth. I get that. But at some point, we need to wake up and have that global awakening where we realize that we're all humankind. Yes, there are going to be different flavors of humanity, different cultures, but we're all humankind. So, my thoughts are, will they, our galactic neighbors, allow us to be up there with a force? Do they want us up there with a force? I mean, if they're turning off our nuclear sites and wreaking havoc with other mechanical stations around the world at military bases, then what could they possibly do to us up there? Secondly, I have to wonder, if there's a space force being created, is there something that the president is not telling us? Such as, is there a race or a civilization that's coming here or is here that has other intentions in mind for the earth and for its inhabitants, and it requires a space force to protect us? I wonder. I don't think we'd have any competition. I think they could take care of us in an instant based on what we've seen to date. Or is it something that, as one of my friends said, the only way to build out in space and get the money and funding from the military-industrial complex is to create it under the auspices of defense, under the auspices of military, and so the money then comes through, it's allocated, and we can start building in space? Does he have, in other words, does Mr. Trump have other ideas, but he's building it under the auspices of national security and defense, but it's really, the idea is to get the funding so that we can start building colonies in space and get to the moon and build a colony there and use it as a jumping point to a trip to Mars? I wonder. So there's many different things. Or is it something that now that we've created a space colony, or excuse me, a space force, that he can come back in a few months and say, you know, we are not alone, and you're going to start seeing some spacecraft in our skies. Please, you know, don't be alarmed. They're friendly. We've known that they're here, but we discovered them, you know, as we've built this space force, and we just want all the people of the world to know that this has been going on for a while, and we confirmed it with our space force. But don't be alarmed. Just, you know, when you look up and you see spacecraft in our skies, don't be alarmed. They're friendly. Like, will disclosure happen in that manner? Or will disclosure happen because there is some force that we're preparing for, some otherworldly force that we're preparing for? And again, I've got to say, we probably don't stand a chance based on our technology versus theirs. I don't know. Something to think about. So, what do you guys think? It's an interesting, you know, it stands to reason that we would go in the direction of a space force at this point in our evolution, right? I mean, we've conquered the skies. We've conquered, you know, we're up in space with satellites, and there's probably 100 companies now. If you look up on Wikipedia, there's probably 100 spacefaring companies that are getting ready to commercialize some application of space. So, you know, it stands to reason that we would create a space force, but why not use a different word? Why does it have to be force? Why couldn't it be like a space consortium, or you know, a space agency? But a space force, it's just another military arm. You know, it just doesn't make much sense unless we're planning on doing a lot of warring out there in space. So anyways, let me know what you think. It's interesting to think about. I'm glad it happened in the sense that, you know, we move forward and maybe a little bit closer to disclosure. As always, please be kind to your animals. Be good to your elders. Take care of your elders. They'll take care of you. They have taken care of you all of your life. Take care of your bodies. You know, your bodies, your feet, your legs, they've walked you around this earth for hundreds of years. Well, in some cases, hundreds of years, but most of our life, you know? So take care of your bodies. Take care of your feet. Eat well. You know, don't smoke. Don't drink too much. You know, have fun, but just, you know, in moderation, everything in moderation. But be kind to your animals. Be good to one another on the airwaves, in social media. We've got to turn that paradigm. We've got to turn that corner and start respecting one another and being kind to one another. As always, I say, be good, be safe, and we'll talk soon. Artsy Dude out.